He's walking his baby next to the basketball court.
He's walking his baby?
In a stroller.
Okay.
Baby stroller. He's walking and his
Not
baby
on a
is
leash.
strolling.
Okay.
Yeah. He's got a baby leash, like little monkey costumes.
Yeah.
People who help others with zero expectation experience higher levels of fulfillment, live longer, and make more money. I'd like to create the opportunity to deliver this value to you right now. In order to do so, I have a simple question to ask you. Would you help someone you've never met if it didn't cost you money, but you never got credit for it? If so, I have an ask to make on behalf of someone you don't know, and you likely never will. They're just like you, or like you were a few years ago, less experienced, full of desire to help the world, seeking information, but unsure where to look. This is where you come in. The only way for us at the Nickolas Natali Show to accomplish our mission of helping individuals live a more fulfilling life is by reaching them. And most people do, in fact, judge a podcast by its cover and its reviews. If you have found this podcast valuable over the past 169 episodes, would you please take a brief moment right now and leave an honest review of the podcast? It will cost you $0 in less than 60 seconds. Your review will help one more entrepreneur support his or her family, one more employee find work they find meaningful, one more client experience a transformation they otherwise would never have encountered, and of course, one more life changed for the better. To make that happen, all you have to do is, and this takes less than 60 seconds, is leave a review. Since this is the season finale, I have to let you know that in the off season on our Patreon, we'll be posting exclusive bonus episodes, merch discounts, free trainings, discounts on course materials, and more. You could even have the opportunity to join me for a one-on-one consultation. Patreon.com/Nickolas Natali. This week's reviewer of the week is Taylor Tyrell, who said, last week's podcast episode was so great, super high energy and fun. What a great listen. Great job, dude. Taylor, we appreciate you, and this riddle of the week is for you. What kind of noise does a witch's vehicle make? Stay tuned to the end of the episode to find out. That was the intro. Now here is the episode. Grant, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here for the second season finale.
I know. It had gone by too soon.
It really has. But this was an amazing season. Kudos to you, honestly.
Thanks.
I want it on the record that this is
been a
the
good one.
best season of the Nickolas Natali Show.
Wow. And shortest.
And so far the shortest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you're a big part of that too, Grant. You can't just be throwing out compliments without acknowledging yourself as well. So acknowledge yourself now in front of us all.
I acknowledge myself.
Love it.
Yeah. It's a great season. Everyone, if you haven't heard the whole thing, listen to every episode.
I think we counted not too long ago, what? Almost 30 episodes?
I think so.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah.
It's a good amount for a season, I'd say.
It is. It's also a very consistently great season. So
Yeah.
many standout episodes. I wish I had written down a list, but honestly, you don't even need a list because they're that good.
Yeah.
You should listen to them all.
Yeah, just throw it in the queue
Yeah.
and listen to nothing else until you're done.
Yeah, I would say so.
I feel like that's how binging works these days.
It is. It is.
I had this discussion the other day, and you can tell me your take on it. A show comes out, and do you wait till all of them are out, or are you the type of person that watches them one at a time? Like, if it comes out on Wednesdays, you're like, I'm there on Wednesday.
Are you familiar with the marshmallow experiment? They tested like young children, or some people say it was an Oreo.
Vaguely familiar.
You're
yeah.
vaguely familiar.
Lay it on me.
Okay, so the idea was that they brought these like 7-year-olds, maybe 8-year-olds in, and they said, we'll give you one marshmallow now.
Yeah.
Or if you wait 25 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
marshmallow in front of you,
Mhm.
we'll give you a second one. You get to have both.
Wow. 25 minutes is a long time.
25 minutes is a long time when you're little.
Yeah.
And the idea was to test if the children had good delay of gratification abilities. And then they did like a follow-up to see like in, I think like 10 years later, how well they had done on the SAT, how well their college.
That one choice of mine.
I know. It really, I mean, it wasn't so much to be, it was, yeah, I guess it was to see like, can we predict how successful these people can be
Yeah.
based on their ability to
Their desire
delay.
for marshmallows.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have criticized this study as being somewhat simplistic, but it does remind me of binge watching television.
Yeah.
Because for me, I like to savor a season of TV, especially if it's a show I really like. So I usually try to like, even if it drops all at once, like a Netflix show,
Yeah.
I'll like only watch 1 or 2 a day
Wow.
because I don't want it to be over. So
Yeah.
I'm a big delay of gratification kind of guy.
Gotcha.
But what about you? Are you a binger?
I think we're probably we probably share a similar sentiment in that I want all the episodes to be out because I need to have the feeling of accomplishment that I finished something. But I also am like you, where it's like, realistically, I'm only going to get through 1 or 2 a day.
Yeah.
You know, I can't plow through 10.
So the idea is you want them all to be there.
I do.
But then you get to decide their
The pace.
dispersal.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dosage.
The dosage.
Yeah.
Yeah. in
That's
which
up
they're
to
going
you.
to
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think part of that also plays into, because you have a response to every episode.
Yeah.
At least I do. Like hey, we're talking Barry.
We're talking Barry.
Talking
Yeah.
Barry. Talking Euphoria. Just finished those. Like some of those episodes, I'm like, I gotta take a step back for like a day or two, you know?
Ooh, yeah. Or if you're on a cliffhanger and you're like, well, one
gotta
more won't
watch.
hurt.
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Barry's big on cliffhangers. So.
huge on cliffhangers.
Huge on cliffhangers. The one downside that I have found to waiting is that you can't be part of the public.
Community.
Yeah.
The chatter.
It's so true. And Succession, if you've watched it.
I haven't.
You haven't watched it.
I watched the first 5 minutes and I was like, oh man.
The first few episodes I do not think are good. People say you just have to get into it. This is kind of a pet peeve of mine though. When they say you just have to get into it, just admit they're not good.
First couple.
It's not like it's an acquired taste. Like they're just not good yet.
Yeah.
But once you get past those, which is a chore, but once you're past them, then it is good.
It opens up.
Yeah. It took me like 2 years to get past those 3 episodes.
Ooh.
Maybe 5, I can't remember. But anyway, there was a big moment in this final season
Yeah.
that I will not spoil. But
Good.
the next day, it was like in every
Ooh,
news outlet,
yeah.
like spoilers. And everyone was talking about it, that like, at least in my like circle, I guess you could say.
You wanted to be part of the conversation.
I wanted to be, and luckily I was, because I was caught up.
Nice.
So certain shows I think like that maybe are good to be up on. But like something like, I don't know, I'm sure there's some shows that like, for instance, Wednesday, that show on Netflix.
I know of it. I haven't watched it.
You know of
I
it,
watched the same thing. I watched the first few minutes.
Yeah.
And I was like, not for me.
I think that one does not need to be watched with a community. It's very much like watch it when you have time. You're not going to need to talk about it at the water cooler.
Almost like sitcom-esque.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. I mean, it is serialized, so you do need to watch it in order, but
Right.
it's not like crucial TV. But it was good. I watched it when I was really sick, and it really passed the time. It's such a bad review. You know what I also watched when I was really sick? The Price is Right.
Bob Barker.
Bob Barker.
Drew Carey.
Drew Carey.
Nice.
Both.
Good. Nailed it. I don't know if I have a palette yet for TV, or I should say shows, because I almost feel like it's not a new experience to me, but like really diving into these shows, that's pretty recent.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to watch a lot of the time. So when people are having those conversations, I'm like, oh, okay, then I should watch it.
Yeah, yeah.
And then that's when I want the ability to plow through them,
Yeah.
because then I can join the conversation.
That's fair. I
Yeah.
think that's fair. What brought you to this new TV palette? Was it that class?
I think it's probably conversations we have to some
okay.
degree. I mean, yeah, I had an acting coach. This was like a couple of years ago that was like, you have to watch TV if you want to be an actor. Like, it's like doing homework. And I was just like, I don't have time for that, man. I'm not wasting time watching TV. But now I've been like, it's not studying per se, but I do feel like I pick up a lot more and like find inspiration from watching TV.
This is true.
So
I think an episode that everyone should listen to if they haven't is with Carl Christian Flores.
Oh yeah.
Who now I believe goes by Christian Ventura. That's his.
It's hard to keep up with his names.
He does have a lot of name changes, but I believe the episode's probably still called Carl
Christian Flores.
Because at the time that was what he was named.
Right.
But he talks about what kind of content you put in really affects you. So I know he's like cutting out a lot of like, I guess what
fat.
Yeah, exactly. He's like trying to have a high nutrition diet with like the content that he watches. And I think there was some like talk that he stopped watching TV and movies altogether. But I think he clarified that in that interview. It's really worth a listen. He's a very deep, interesting person with a lot of philosophical thoughts. But to your point about homework, I really feel this. The more good television I watch, the better I feel. It's like eating a salad. And
a brain salad.
I really feel like it is. The better I feel and the better I think that my abilities are, and vice versa. When I watch a lot of things that I think are kind of trashy, like junk food,
Yeah.
I don't think that I think as sharply about.
Love is Blind. Love Island.
Yeah. I mean, I have watched both of those shows, not entirely, but
Yeah.
when I do watch them, and Bachelor in Paradise, that was like a
classics.
show. Yeah.
Bachelor's in Paradise. Wow. That's
Yeah.
that's the raunchy version of The Bachelor, which
It
is
is.
already pushing limits here.
It is. I think Bachelor in Paradise is actually a little better because they lean into the fact that it's like raunchy and bad for you, whereas Bachelor pretends to be like a journey of love.
Yeah.
You know? Which I think is dishonest.
Yeah.
But Bachelor in Paradise knows what it is. But yeah, I mean, they're really fun. But I remember like the time in my life where I was watching a lot of those. I wasn't producing a lot of great stuff.
Yeah.
But maybe that's just for, maybe there's a different reason for the fact that both of those things were happening at the same time. It was pandemic time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think a mental diet's a real thing. For sure.
Tell me
100%.
more. Tell me more about it.
I'd love to. Right now, my mental diet is almost all David Goggins, truthfully. Which, are you familiar with the man?
You sent me some.
Yeah, he carries the boats and the logs.
Yeah, tell me more about David Goggins.
He's a Navy SEAL, but he has or former Navy SEAL, but he has a crazy slew of crazy stories.
Wow.
One of which was he was like 300 pounds, like broke, making $1,000 a month as a exterminator. It's where
Like
you're killing bugs.
Pesticides? Wow.
Pesticides, yeah. And he was like, I need to change my life. I'm going to become a Navy SEAL. And he had to lose 106 pounds in 3 months. And then he does, and then he becomes a Navy SEAL. But all of his stuff is around mainly, it's motivational-esque, but how I've been kind of viewing it is like callusing your mind in a way of you train because that's the right thing that you need to do. It's not because you feel good or because you're supposed to do something. It's like, get after it.
Wow. So it's doing that just not for the sake of doing it, but because there's like a higher purpose almost. Mm-hmm. It's not just about the consequences of it, but that it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Is that how you feel?
And like to be the type of person that trains like that. Right now, at least with how I'm training with the soul, shouldn't say soul, but a big mentality of, I don't know when the next opportunity is going to come, but I'm not going to be caught flat-footed. I'm going to go hard.
Wow.
So I just watch David Goggins videos whenever I need it.
I think it's great, and you sent me some of them, and they are genuinely very inspiring. And it's the energy, it's the attitude, it's just the just keep going. He had one that I loved where he was like, I had a great run yesterday. Doesn't matter.
Yep.
Today is now.
Yeah.
And I need to run today.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what happened yesterday. And that is so true for everything in life.
Mm-hmm.
You're only as good as your last project. And what you're doing today is that project.
Mm-hmm.
You can't rest on your laurels and just think that you're all set. It has to be constantly going.
It does. And I've been thinking on that in terms of the story we tell ourselves too about who we are. So every day that I wake up, there's conflict in who I want to be and who I'm trying to be in a comparison to who I was yesterday. And also the expectations I feel like other people have for who I was yesterday.
Yeah.
So like you're saying, it's like getting rid of all of those and knowing that none of that is even real from a theoretical or conceptual place. Like I can't go back to it.
Yeah.
Nobody can even really prove I was that person, really. I mean, to a degree.
Yeah. I mean, and we're certainly, I like this. There's this saying, you can never stand in the same river twice. Have you heard that?
No.
It's just because it's always changing, from moment to moment. And I think that's a really good way to look at who you are as a person. Hopefully you're always changing, hopefully always improving. But I think the hardest part about changing and progress is how slow it is and how you have to accept and be patient, because I think the most impactful change can happen in little tiny increments over a long period of time. And it's important to remember, if you're doing the work every day, then you are on track, and you kind of just have to be patient and keep at it. This is something that I believe in, but also I'm trying to convince myself of, because what I'm pursuing and what you're pursuing as well, these are things that are we're following our dreams.
Yeah.
And they are dreams. It's like a big bar to hit. I mean,
it is.
And we're going to be doing it our whole lives, probably. I don't know if we'll ever feel like, okay, we made it, because that's just not the kind of dreams we have.
Yeah.
So it's so important, at least for me, to keep telling myself, I'm doing the work. and I'm never going to stop doing the work, and it'll happen when it happens. That's the way I reassure myself.
Yeah. There's a quote that I'm probably going to botch here.
Here we go.
It's similar to what you're saying. It's along the lines of like, if you have the endurance to continue and you don't stop, victory is inevitable. So essentially, like, don't stop. And it's a matter of time. It's not a matter of
that's it.
Like if.
Yeah. I think the tough part that people don't realize is that there are so many external factors that are going to screw you up and be hurdles. Mm-hmm. So if you aren't so driven and so focused on what you want, then it just, you won't even get to reach the external hurdles if you're not at your core, like, devoted to this, because there are going to be constantly moments that are trying to throw you off. So you need to be the rock star, like, super anchored, like, just, you know, I'm trying not to say a swear word here.
You're allowed to. You've heard plenty of swear words on here.
Sometimes when I'm mixing it, I'm like, it would be fun if I, like, bleep this just for fun. Like, we're a podcast that, like, is for children too, or something. A family podcast.
I'm actually not opposed to that. We could start doing that.
I think it wouldn't be the worst idea.
Say a cuss word.
Beep. Yeah, I'll beep that.
Okay, good.
I like the idea that people could listen to this with their family in the car.
Me too.
Like, that's something that I think is maybe season 3 we can start bleeping it.
I think for the majority of season 1, they're all cut out.
Really?
All the cuss words. Yeah. Well, I would just do a volume drop.
Yeah.
No beep.
That's fine. Yeah, beep is kind of
fun.
Abrasive.
It's almost like comical.
It is comical. It's become
like, whoa, that must have been a huge cuss word.
Yeah. Especially if it's really long.
Yeah.
Yeah, really long beep.
Like, what are they even saying at this point? We're like 15 seconds in.
It's a lot of cussing. Yeah, I was just gonna say that everything in the world outside of your control is going to screw you up. It's gonna, like, be working against you just because the world is so complicated and chaotic.
Yeah.
So you need to be all the more devoted, because if you're not, then, like, you don't have a chance, I think.
Sway with the wind. Do you want to tell the story of our UCLA conversation? I feel like that was a pivotal turning point, and I don't know if there's any documentation on it. So
that was a pivotal turning point. For some reason, I feel like I might be completely wrong. I felt like we talked about this on the last season finale, but maybe I'm wrong.
Oh.
Did we not talk about the UCLA conversation?
Oh, maybe we'll just leave it to the listeners to go back and check it out.
That's actually a good incentive. Go listen to the to season 1 finale.
I was thinking about it in continuation of that thought today, that I think this of you, Grant. I think you're talented, creative, smart, hardworking.
Keep going.
All of those things. I think you're top tier. And I almost, not a responsibility or duty, but, like, you have so much talent that it would be a shame if it went untapped due to, like, us being distracted or unfocused.
I think that's so true. I think something that brings me sorrow is to imagine all the, this is going to sound so dumb, but, like, sometimes I'll hear a really good song, but I'll be like, there's so many really great songs that never got to be written, never got to be heard, because I think the world is full of immense talent, and I think everybody has something that's really, really special about them. And it makes me so sad that the majority of people don't have the privilege to express it or don't have the opportunity to express it. So I'm really proud of us that we are doing that. We're devoting our lives to it. We're attempting it, at least. We're attempting it. And you as well, Nick. I mean, you have moved to LA. You were in San Diego.
Yeah, that's true.
I think the last time there was a season finale. Yeah, you're so much, you're making those little changes. I mean, that's a big change, but, like, even since the last time this podcast had a finale, and I think that's exactly what you should be doing. Mm-hmm. And I remember there was a moment, we can put it this can be the thumbnail cover, but Nick asked me if I wanted to hear the pros and cons of moving to LA.
Oh man.
And I was like, I guess. Like, you need to move. I don't really need to hear them. Yeah. You just need to move. And that was absolutely, like, what you should be doing. And you're already so many things are, like, happening. Your Actors Access, I think, is up.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got the Carmi monologue, which you should watch if you haven't.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Looks great. Sounds great.
I wonder why. Who shot it?
Performed well. So, yeah, I mean, I think that I'm so glad that we're doing this, and we're so lucky to be able to do this.
Yeah.
And I hope that, something that's important to me in my life is to also elevate people who haven't had that chance. So I'm really hoping that I'll have the platform to do that, to find those voices and to help people fulfill their potential, at least artistic potential.
Have you heard the saying, our purpose comes from our pain.
Ooh. I think I've heard it on your podcast, but tell me what it means to you.
I've been trying to think about what the most painful thing is for me. But I think it means essentially like some of the hardest chapters of our lives that we've been able to overcome, or things that we learned the hard way. That's how we turn around and provide service to the community or people we know. So when you say that you're going to have that platform, it's like, because you went through, struggles and layers it takes to get there.
Something that you may encounter in this place, in this town we work in.
Yeah, please.
And it's unfortunate, but there is, I think it goes two ways. There's the version where you want to send the elevator back down, as they say. You You go up in the elevator and then you help other people come up too. I've also encountered people, and this is common as well, who feel that since they've attained their dream, or they've gotten
you better work for it too, baby.
Exactly. They have attained a certain level and they feel that they worked really hard for it. They were entitled to that because of how hard they worked, and they're not going to give you any extra help. And I've encountered this, and especially in the entertainment industry, I think people feel very much like they worked so hard, they're not going to give anyone the easy way either. And that's unfortunate. They also feel, I think, that nobody else can do what they do. And I just genuinely hope that people who are out there, if you're listening to this, or if you encounter this kind of person, that you don't let that stop you.
I think there's some merit to recognizing someone that just wants it and isn't willing to work for it, and being like, I can't just hand you everything.
Yes.
But I think there's another side where it's like, I see you working, I see you doing all of the doings, and it makes sense for me to pull you up, because I think you're going to heighten the whole thing.
And I think people sometimes don't realize that pulling someone up or sending the elevator back down, however you want,
doesn't hurt them.
Yeah, doesn't hurt them at all. And it can be as simple as just giving them mentorship. You don't have to give them money or a contract or a six-figure like studio movie deal. Just like give them advice every 6 months about how their career is going. That's all it takes. I think everyone is entitled to that kind of help. I mean, of course there are people who want to freeload and just like ride the coattails of other people's success, but ideally everyone would just share knowledge and like help in that way. I think mentorship costs the mentor nothing, and it actually is extremely fulfilling in the like very limited experience that I've had, like back in college, like mentoring younger students, which is something that they had us do at USC. I found it very rewarding. It's like, and you learn, so everybody gets something out of it.
They say the best way to learn is to teach. They do be saying that.
I 100% agree with that.
I agree with it too.
Yeah,
we got to find some mentees that we can just
I think
lay into.
I would love both a mentor and a mentee. I think that would make me so... I would feel like I had pretty much everything I wanted if that was what I had.
What type of mentor are you looking for? How would you know they fit your criteria?
I think it would just be nice to have someone that's maybe like 3 to 5 years ahead of me. Not like 20 years ahead, but that just kind of knows the ropes, knows the current state of the industry. Because people who are, my experience, people who are quite a bit further ahead in their career, the industry has changed so much that it's just not as helpful. Like Steven Spielberg famously snuck onto the Universal backlot. Holed up in an office, became a TV director, like made a short, became a TV director just because he was like there. And now you can't get into Universal. You can't sneak into Universal. Like,
security.
It's just not possible. So, like, what advice would he have to, like, a young filmmaker?
Run faster. Juke him, you know?
Evasive maneuvers, I guess, would be something to study.
Yeah, couldn't tell you.
So I would like really to have a mentor who's a little ahead of me, who can be great to have someone who had really good taste that could give great feedback on work. It's so hard to find good feedback.
Honest feedback.
Yeah, honest feedback. I'm sure you found this in your experience as an actor as well. To find people who can watch your tapes, who can watch your reel, the monologue that you recorded, and give you helpful feedback.
Yeah. The coach I have, she does an incredible job of, she's so sweet and kind and supportive, but her feedback is super honest.
That's great.
Which I appreciate. Like, sometimes I'll walk out of there and I'll be like, I know she's rooting for me, but this stuff kind of stinks, you know? Like, you're really hitting it on it.
Yeah.
Nail on the head.
It's very hard to find that. I think people get very sensitive about feedback, and other people who are giving it don't want to make other people feel bad. I used to be like that. I used to really have a hard time being honest with my feedback for the majority of my life until like the last maybe 4 or 5 years, because I was in a writer's group, and just the constant like,
I'm going to have to tell you the truth at some point.
yeah, at some point. And it helps because a lot of the time there's group consensus. Like I'm not usually the only one who thinks that. So, and then you start to develop your own sense of what is effective and what is not effective. We learn to say that instead of what is good and bad. Like what works, what doesn't work. Then it becomes less personal. And hopefully your teacher, should we give a shout out to your teacher? She seems like she's a big part of this new time in your life.
She is. Her name's Irene Smithen.
Thank you, Irene.
I'll put the link in the show notes. Send her an email. Actually, I'll do you one better. I'll get you an audit class. You send an email, I'll get you an audit class.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's
free.
That is some serious value you're offering.
I am. Yeah. You could see me in the class probably.
Wow.
Don't come to my class. Go to a different class.
It's a little weird.
Yeah. Go to a different day. Not saying what day I go on.
I'm going to say it right now, and Nick's going to bleep it.
Yeah, please do.
What's next?
I think you have a little story for us.
I do have a story, and I think you do too.
I do.
All right. Me first, you first.
You first.
Okay. Here's the story. I've been intending to tell this on the podcast for some time. So I needed some new jeans. And I really like Levi's. I know that's like the most basic kind of jean. It's also the first kind of jean ever made. I like Levi's. I like the way they fit. I like the way they look.
I bet.
All right. I went to get new ones because I have a pair of gray Levi's that I think fit me really well. Like the best fit. They're
good shape of the body.
Yeah. They flatter my curves.
Yes.
And they're slim straight, so they are very tight. But I don't know what all the numbers are on the jeans.
Talking waist, talking length.
I know those numbers.
There's more than that.
There's a style number. There's like 511s. There's 508s. Those are,
okay. I get what you're saying.
You would see those on the leather patch on the back of your jeans.
Yeah.
It'll say what style they are. Yeah. And I didn't know what the style of the jeans that I liked were, but I did know that I wanted them in black. Yeah. So I went to the Levi's store, and keep in mind, these gray jeans are like 6 years old. I was in college, I think.
They were black when you bought them?
No. They were gray. They were gray back then too, but I just wanted a version in black.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
Because my black
arsenal.
Gotta stock up.
Yeah, good.
So I didn't know what kind they were, and it was weird because the patch on the back didn't say. I was like, that's weird. This is the only pair of jeans that doesn't say.
Where's the patch?
There was a patch, but it just said Levi's. It had no other information.
Interesting.
So I was like, these are mystery pants.
Yeah.
I cannot.
One of a kind.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought maybe. Yeah. And I got them so long ago, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I had no idea. But I know I've been wearing them at least since college. Yeah. So, since college, not before. Those would be old.
That would be old, yeah.
That would be pretty old.
And that would assume that your body hasn't changed.
At all.
I feel like your body's changed.
In many ways.
Yeah. All right.
So I go to the Levi's store, and I just walk right in, and I'm on a mission. And this is the best part. I'm wearing them. So I'm like, this is going to be
example.
This is going to be easy.
Yeah.
I'm going to go up to the salesperson, and I'm going to say, I need these in black. And it's going to be the easiest transaction of their entire day. I know it.
Yeah. You have the example.
It couldn't be easier. It's not like I'm going to, I have these pants at home. They fit really well. Like they're gray. Like, this is so easy. I'm wearing them. I figure I can do a little twirl.
Pop open that patch.
Yeah.
That mystery patch.
Yeah. And he'll know. He'll just know by looking.
Yeah.
And he's decked out in
Levi's
jeans.
stuff.
Like
denim jacket.
Denim jacket.
Wow.
Denim pants.
Wow. Cowboy.
Yes, exactly.
Real Wrangler.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I go right up.
Yeah.
And the things are happening the way I expect them to. I go.
You made it in.
Found parking.
Yeah.
Got there. I say, I would like these pants, but in black. Yeah. And he was like, well, what kind are they? And I was like, I don't know. You can look at the tag, but I just want these in black.
Yeah.
And he was like, so women's. And I was like, no, like these pants.
He's roasting it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, that's kind of, I don't know if he's like joking at first. I just want these pants in black, like whatever style these are. He was like, women's. And then I thought he was roasting me.
Yeah.
Because I was like, no.
Yeah.
Just look at the patch. And he was like, the patch doesn't say anything, which means they're women's pants. That's how you know.
Yeah.
And I was like,
That's how you know.
that can't be. So I went into the dressing room. I took off the pants and I looked on, there's like an inner tag.
Oh.
And my size is 30-30.
Nice.
It's super easy to remember.
30-30.
It says W 30-30.
Ooh.
And I'm starting to think, I think I might know what that W stands for.
Wombo.
Yeah, exactly. So then we figured out that I actually have been wearing women's jeans for at least 6 years and that they fit me the best.
Yeah. So you got another pair, I'm assuming?
I probably would have if I hadn't been so embarrassed, but
Right.
they do still fit me the best. I will say though that I've always noticed that the pockets very small. Not like, I mean, I can get my phone in, but I'm now wearing men's jeans and they're deep.
I got my arm lost in there last week.
I was like down to my knee. Yeah, with these women's jeans that I've been wearing, it's very hard to get things in. It's very hard to get things out. It's hard to put them on. They're very...
You're doing the shake up?
I'm always shaking. And especially if I have to sit for a long time, I'm like having to readjust because they're just so tight.
Yeah.
And it all makes sense now. But my question is, how did I get these pants?
You bought them? Who gave them to you? Accident?
I know I bought them. I remember when I got them. I think it was like junior or senior year of college. And I remember I went to a specific Levi's store. I obviously asked to buy jeans. I know I bought 2 other pair. And I also bought women's jeans at the same time.
Yeah.
And for a while, I was thinking maybe I accidentally switched jeans with maybe someone in my family. I was like, maybe my mom, but she's really small.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe a girlfriend of girlfriend's past.
Could be, yeah.
But then
the gene swap is wild. That's a wild
I
thought.
thought maybe that was my
That
was my working theory. But then I realized it's very unlikely that it was a 30-30.
You're recording the exact same size.
Exact same size. And the only thing different was that it was women's. Like that we switched, but it's not possible. I've been wearing women's jeans for 6 years.
Man. But you've been comfortable, so...
I've been comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think they look
And you
good.
say they look the best.
They look the best.
Yeah.
So I think I don't want anyone to get the wrong idea that I don't think you should wear women's jeans if you're a man, because I've recently learned in the telling of this story that a lot of people in like emo fashion,
right,
men wear women's jeans, like in that emo world, especially when we were in high school. Like that was a thing. I didn't know that until recently.
And you are an active member in this community? Is this why this is the PSA?
I mean,
and I am now emo.
I only learned that was true, so I don't want to shame any emo people. And I had my emo days.
Did you really?
I did.
Talking eyeliner?
No, not that intense.
Long hair?
No, but like
black clothes.
Black clothes for
Spikes?
sure. No spikes.
Studded belt?
I did get a studded belt.
Okay, all right. Black boots?
No, I never had boots.
You gotta describe this emo phase to me because I'm getting a mixed picture here.
It was mixed.
All right, it was a half commit.
It was a half commit.
You were just a mo. Dang, I had to wear a uniform in high school.
Did you really?
Yeah, I went to a uniform high school.
Ooh, I went to uniform middle school, and actually I liked it because I didn't have to think
choose
about what to wear. Yeah.
I didn't mind it either.
Yeah,
I did do some rebellion.
What was your rebellion?
In multiple different ways, but one of my favorites, which I think is so ridiculous now, is we had to wear polos, and you could wear a sweatshirt over it. Obviously, you can only have certain things on the top, but I'd cut the collar out of a polo and just wear the top of the polo so I wouldn't have to wear it.
Oh.
And I'd wear a sweatshirt and like whatever shirt I wanted underneath.
Wow.
So anytime I went to class,
Yeah.
I'd throw on the fake neck ring. And then when I wasn't in class, I'd take it off and wear whatever I wanted.
Oh my gosh.
I'm a free man.
Did you have to tuck in your shirt too?
We didn't. No tuck.
That was something we always had to do.
Yeah.
That's pretty smart.
Yeah. Most of our expression was probably in our shoes.
Yeah.
You know, because
Big sneaker guy?
I wore a couple different sneakers. I still have a pair that is like Nike or Yankee Reeboks. So it's like got the Yankee sign on it.
Wow.
I never wore them out because I didn't want to get them dirty. And now I wore them like twice.
You should wear them now. You should start wearing them all the
Big
time.
Yankee fan.
Big Yankee.
Name like one player right now, probably.
You might get in trouble in LA for wearing Yankee swag, don't you think?
Yeah, I'm not.
It's Dodger Town.
The whole sports team thing, as I've gotten older, it's just now, I don't even know if it's worth the risk. I'm going to get punched in the face because I'm not a Dodger fan. Like, I like the Dodgers, don't get me wrong.
Do you have a preferred baseball team?
Yankees, for sure.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You think I got the shoes for no reason?
I didn't know.
Yeah. What if I go to a Dodgers game? I'll wear a Dodger hat, whatever.
Yeah.
And then when I lived in San Diego, I was a Padres fan.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're
Wherever
a fan
I
of-
live,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're a fan of the place you live.
Which I think is fair.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. It's not a bandwagon. It's called hometown team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nick, I think it's time to hear your story.
Let's go.
Nick has been hyping this for days.
Let's go, baby. Whew. This is such a monumental moment.
I haven't heard this story yet, so
Yeah.
I'm
Let's
a
do
little
it.
nervous.
Let's start it off.
Yeah.
I like to play basketball from time to time.
Okay.
I do. And so on Thursdays, I don't typically play basketball because I go on a hike in the morning. So then I'm too tired to play basketball in the evening. I'm not saying I play every day, but if I'm going to play, it's going to be like a Tuesday or Wednesday, midday.
Yeah. Where do you play?
There's a park. I'm about to dox myself here. There's a park.
We'll bleep it.
There's a park in Santa Monica. It's near the pier. That's all I have to say, I guess.
Okay.
It's closer to the pier. It's walking distance. Why did I say that? God dang it.
It's getting worse.
So my house is on. There's a friend that I play with, and I texted him, and I was like, hey, man, let's play ball today. Because I was like, yeah, I had some brain fog, and I was like, I just want to go outside, you know? And he was like, I'm down. So I walk on over to the court, see my friend. We keep walking, and we see a mutual friend of ours, more his friend than mine. His name's Chris.
Okay.
That's valuable to the story, I suppose.
Okay.
He's walking his baby next to the basketball court.
He's walking his baby?
In a stroller.
Okay.
Baby stroller. He's walking and his
Not on
baby
a
is
leash.
strolling.
Okay.
Yeah. He's got a baby leash, like little monkey costumes.
Yeah.
Those are too far. And we're like, hey, what's up, Chris? You know, how's it going? He's like, hey, what's up? How are you guys? You know, he's like, you guys gonna play some basketball? We're like, yeah. He's like, that's cool, man. Adam Sandler's here.
Oh.
And I turn and I look at the court. And mind you, so Thursdays, Wednesdays, around this time, there's usually like 3 or 4 people playing at this court. Mm-hmm. Full court. Full game is running.
Whoa.
And so I look over. Sure enough.
Yeah.
There he is.
Yeah.
He's rocking the huge sweatshirt, huge baggy basketball shorts, like 30 socks, it looks like. The big, like, Jordan shoes. I don't know if they're Jordans, but big sneakers. And, like, I look over and part of me is like, ooh, like now I'm feeling something here.
Yeah.
Like, it is him. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, we're stewing a little bit, and I was like, dude, we got to, like, go over there and see what's popping.
Yeah.
So we go over there, and I've talked, after debriefing, me and my friend both were under the mindset that, like, he's here, we're probably not going to get to play with him because, you know, there's a bunch of people, and, like, we have no...
Is there a line to play, essentially?
So there's people on the sidelines to play basketball, and that's common. And you say, who has next? You know, who's playing the next game? There was a team of 5 that already called next.
Okay.
So we would have next.
Okay.
Yeah. So we find one of the guys who had already called next. And we're like, what's up, man? Can we be on your team? It's only one dude. He's like, oh, for sure. Yeah, 100%.
He called next.
He called next. And now
By
we're
himself.
By himself.
Okay.
Yeah. So now we're a team of 3, and we have next, which means we'll pick up 2 whenever we have to go on.
Nice.
The main game ends
Yeah.
that they were just playing. Adam Sandler's done playing, and they're like trying to. His team must have lost or something. I'm not sure because they were like, "Oh, stay, Adam. You know, like keep playing basketball with us." And our guy they had, I guess there was 4 on the next team. Our guy like pulled a quick one and snuck on to the next team.
The guy that
just next to us, yeah. He snuck on to the next team. So now there's a full 10 out there, which means Adam's like, you guys have 10. Like, I don't want to play. So he looks at me and my friend that I'm with, beelines to us and goes, 2-on-2. Let's play.
Oh, are you serious?
I'm serious. Walked straight to us. 2-on-2. Let's go. And I'm like,
my goodness.
I'm like, yeah, obviously. Of course, 100% I'm playing 2-on-2.
So it's you, your friend.
Me, my friend,
Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler.
And
a rando he picked up. He was like, hey, yeah, you can play too.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm like, yeah.
So the other guy was playing on Adam's team. Okay.
But then I have to guard Adam Sandler. I'm playing against Adam Sandler at basketball.
Okay.
How insane is that?
That is insane.
To begin, and the other court's like trying to call him back over. They're like, Adam, like, come on, man, we'll find you a spot.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at him like, dude, they're recruiting you pretty hard.
Yeah.
And he's like, they must have seen me play. And I'm like, that's probably why, huh? And he like laughs it off. And we had a lot of those little interactions.
Yeah.
And so I'm actually very surprised because there was zero nerves. Yeah. No nervousness. Like
That's
I felt totally fine, which I was shocked by.
Yeah.
I don't know, in a good way.
That's amazing. I would be so scared. I'm scared to play basketball with anyone, let alone Adam Sandler.
And so the game starts. They start with the ball. He wants to play 24-24, which is a weird number to play to, and he wants to play 2s and 3s, which when you play 2-on-2, you play 2s and 1s. So different, already a different game.
Okay.
Which is fine. I get the ball in the post. I look at him. I'm like, Adam, I'm going to give you my best move right now.
Yeah.
And he said, let's see it, buddy. And I said, I got to think of it first. I hit him with some razzle dazzle. I miss it. That's fine. I proceed to play the best basketball of my life from there on out. We demolish him. We smashed him. We destroyed the Sandman. Like I was blocking him. Like my teammate was scoring on his teammate the whole time. We beat him 24-6 the first game. We smashed him. So funny. But the whole time I'm thinking like, what do you say to a celebrity?
Poppy, you're
come here, Poppy.
Interfering with the story.
I'm like, what can you really say
to a celebrity that you just destroyed?
Absolutely smoked. But it's like the other thing that was weird is like I introduced myself to his teammate introduced himself to me, and my teammate, none of us introduced ourselves to Adam because it's like we all know who you are and you probably don't need to know who we are. And then the next game I checked the ball up to him and I'm just like trying to make him laugh, like treat him like a normal guy or whatever. And I'm like, Adam, I want you to know, it's like I'm wearing a spaghetti tank top under this sweatshirt from like the 80s, and I was gonna take it off and wear it for the first time, but now that you're here, I'm not. I want you to know that. And he's like, that's what the kids are wearing nowadays, huh? And I was like, it absolutely is. At least it's what I'm wearing. And so I swing the ball to the wing, go down to the post, they pass it in, he deflects it off, and I was like, Adam, if you weren't talking all about that spaghetti, I would have had that. That's like an easy one. And he was just laughed it off, walks over to the bench, takes off his giant sweatshirt. Only to reveal a giant neon polo underneath. And he's like, sorry for blinding you guys.
That's a pretty good impression, actually.
Thanks. And I'm just laughing it up. And then as we keep playing, there is a few things that he, like, total celebrity treatment in some way. He threw it off of my head. And I laughed.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, Adam Sandler just threw it off my head.
Yeah.
And then it clicks for me. I'm like, I'm a grown man. This man just threw a ball at my head.
Yeah.
I get his missed layup. Splash a 3 in his face.
Oh.
Felt great. Then later in the game, he throws it off my teammate's head.
Wow.
And my friend says, I deserve that. Why do you deserve it? Because it's him?
That seems...
And we're all cracking up. It's funny.
Yeah.
It is hilarious.
I guess that is funny.
It is hilarious.
Yeah.
Adam Sandler just threw the ball at your head. That's so funny.
That is funny.
But yeah, it was
That's incredible. So how does it wrap up eventually?
So he said he said he only wanted to play one game. We beat him real bad. He wanted to play another game because he's like, I don't want to like get smashed that bad.
Yeah.
Which is like, man, that's totally fair. So we play again, and then we smash him again, like 24-8. And he's like, I gotta play you guys one more time. You know, like.
So you played 3 times?
We played 3 times, and I'm like,
were you nicer to him this time?
The last game we were like trying to let up a little bit, you know. And it's not like he's good at basketball. He's also like much older than I am.
Yeah.
He's probably double my age and some change.
Yeah. Fact check it. I don't know.
I think he's probably like 56.
Yeah.
But we don't score at all. They score like 10 points right out of the gate, 10 or 12, and they have the ball the whole time. And then we get the ball back, and then we just proceed to score like 24 in a row. Smash him.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But he was really, really nice and encouraging and funny. He did start throwing some elbows.
Really?
Like he was like bodying pretty hard in the paint, which I don't blame him because he's like, our team is like, he would like, we would hit a shot.
Yeah.
He would like cuss under his breath, like, God dang it. And then he'd be like, good shot, guys. Good shot. Like,
you know, it's crazy because when you started the story and you mentioned basketball, there was a part of me that was like, I wonder if this is going to involve Adam Sandler because Adam Sandler in my brain is so associated with basketball because he's one of the biggest basketball fans that I've ever heard of. He just made this Netflix thing about basketball.
Hustle.
The fact that you played him makes the story even better because there's no celebrity that you could play basketball with that would matter more than Adam Sandler, except maybe Jack Nicholson, who's always on the Lakers floor. But like, that's insane. I love that story. Are you happy you moved to LA?
Oh, I'm so happy I moved to LA.
That doesn't happen in San Diego.
It does not. Honestly, it gave me a sense of like, man, things can really happen. You know, like you really don't know.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, I had a bunch of different thoughts of like, what do you really say to them? Like, here's my hypothesis of why he went straight to us to play basketball against. Everybody else had their phones out, and I feel like he was like, these 2 guys
were they like filming?
I think they were like sneaking some photos and videos and stuff. And I think he was like, these 2 guys, they're just like here to be normal. Yeah. And I think part of me thinks he probably appreciated that. But
I'm sure he did. Yeah. Because he's used to people just like probably wanting things from him, and I think celebrities are like cats in that way, where if you like don't like want to pet them, then they feel more comfortable. Yeah. And they'll come over to you. Yeah. So, I mean, I think you did that perfectly. That is the best story ever. That's incredible.
It's so crazy.
That truly is amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
It felt great. And after we wrapped up, he like went and sat by himself for a little bit, and then we like exchanged some like basketball talk, and then he left. That was it.
Amazing.
Yeah. Makes you wonder though, because the whole time I was thinking, I'm like, I can feel us accommodating to him slightly in our like social interactions. Yeah. You know, which makes sense, but also like I could not predict what he wants. Yeah. You know?
But you did not accommodate him in the basketball.
I did not.
Because you don't play.
I'm not playing.
No. That's amazing. And I think it's interesting because you always wonder, is there an opportunity to like ask for something? Right. Would you ask him to be on the podcast?
Exactly.
That kind of thing.
That came up, yeah.
And it's interesting because I think more often than not, the answer is probably just to not do that because they are in public and they just want to be a normal person. It's not the environment to do that. But I mean, there's probably rare exceptions where if you really make a genuine connection and he's like, I want you on my podcast. And then you're like, okay, then you come on mine, you know, that kind of thing. But I think you played it perfectly.
I thought he was, I mean, as you said, he's a big fan of basketball. I'm like, he's probably here to blow off some steam and like just play ball. And, you know,
that's all he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And he came over to you guys probably because you were normal
dudes.
And you weren't going to like try to ask for a selfie. You didn't ask for a selfie.
I did not ask for a selfie.
I mean, that in itself is probably very rare.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was probably expecting you guys to ask for a selfie.
Adam, let me take a picture. I just smashed you three games.
Yeah. See, that's the kind of thing that like they don't want to have to hear that. They just want to be normal and play basketball. Yeah. That's honestly, everything else aside, that's a very special thing to happen. And that's a wonderful memory. And like, I'm really happy that you got that experience.
Yeah, me too. That's so good.
That's really special.
It gave some reassurance too, because I mean, we ruminate in our heads how we think we're going to act to celebrities or how we think we're going to act in certain situations. And I was reassured that I didn't feel nervous. I felt like a normal guy. So now, at least in the context of like going on sets, if I were to ever get a role, I'm like, oh, my co-star is someone huge, or my scene partner is someone huge. I feel better that I'm not going to like crack under that.
Yeah, absolutely. If you didn't crack playing basketball, you're not going to crack running lines.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Wow. You smoked them.
To be fair, me and my friend have played at that court. We play weekly, and we lose every time. That's probably the first game we've won in like months.
You played the best game of basketball of your life against Adam Sandler.
Probably.
Who is known to be one of the biggest basketball fans in the celebrity world.
Yeah.
If not the biggest.
It was crazy because, I've seen him do a certain move on Instagram a lot. Like every time I see them post about him playing basketball, he does like a particular move. And to be the guy in front of him having that move done to me, I was like rooting for him, like, I hope you score. Like, this is great.
That's incredible. I think that just shows you what an amazing place Los Angeles is. Honestly, it's just a really great, special place where we can all play basketball on a Thursday night and have fun.
Yeah.
And put everything else aside of who we are and just, not me personally, because I'm terrible at basketball, but maybe whatever the equivalent of me would be.
Tennis.
Maybe tennis.
There you have it. That's probably the whole gist of the story.
I think we're rapidly approaching the final question of the podcast. And if it's all right with you, I'd like to ask it.
Okay.
What does it mean to live a fulfilling life, Nick?
Wow. What a turn.
What a turn. Nobody saw that coming.
I think to live a fulfilling life, it means to love God and love others.
That's beautiful.
And if we go one step deeper, what does it mean to love God? It means to obey what he has set out for us in terms of what the word says. And also the other half is to love others, which means being in constant pursuit of service.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow.
How about you?
Thank you. Oh.
Yep. You can't get away with that one.
I'm trying to remember what I said last time, but I know someone recently asked you for your
take.
And that is what you said. So yours is a consistent.
I'm glad I'm saying consistent. Yeah.
I think the thing that comes up for me is to it's very much about reducing the suffering of others. It's really important to me. And I think it's partly because I hope this is what my one was last time, because I feel a very core value and belief comes from my family. They're all in medicine and healthcare, and just the belief in taking care of others and reducing their suffering and pain. And I think that everything I try to do is with that in mind. When I make a film, when I write something, I'm always thinking, what is the audience going to feel in this moment? But really, at the end of the day, it's to give them maybe an escape or maybe some way to reduce pain that they may have brought into the theater or whatever, wherever if they have a hard day. I really think that, sitting down with a comedy is sometimes really the best medicine. And to be a part of that it's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I think that is probably the reason that I'm sitting here now in Los Angeles across from you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. Beautiful.
Thank you. Nick, where can people find you? How can they say hello?
Well, they're listening to this podcast. That's a good sign.
That's a good point.
Hit me on the gram. I actually think moving forward, since this is the season finale, I'm stewing on, I have more episodes in the backlog, as you know.
Yes.
But I think I'm going to throw that on Patreon because since we're going to do a potential big rebrand, I have a lot of episodes that I think are valuable, which might just be better served if you're already a happy listener to this podcast and might be behind a $5 paywall.
Wow. I'd pay $5 for this.
Yeah, there's a couple of good episodes in there. There's one with a fighter pilot who talks about the mentality you have to have in entrepreneurship and as a fighter pilot. And then another one that's strictly how to build a strong brand. So
wow,
those things are going to be, so go to the Patreon. I guess you'll connect with me in some way.
That's very exciting. Nick has big things planned for season 3. He's told me a little bit about them, and it's just going to get better from here. I mean, it's really, really exciting. And also Nick has big plans for other things outside of the podcast.
True.
His acting career, everything's moving forward at a rapid clip. I'm excited.
I'm excited too.
Everybody needs to stay tuned on the life of Nickolas Natali.
Where can they find you, Grant?
You can find me on Instagram. Unfortunately, it's not my favorite, but you can reach out to me there. You can also reach out on my website, singerville.com.
There you go. Yeah.
Yes, which you can find the link in my Instagram bio.
Or the show notes.
or in the show notes.
Yeah.
I do a lot of writing and directing, and I also mix this podcast every week.
Yeah.
And it's a delight.
If you watch the monologue, that is all mixed by you.
That is true.
Mastered.
It was mixed by Grant. That is true.
I have thoughts around that, but we're coming to the end here.
Coming to the end.
See it on the Patreon, I guess.
You'll have to tune in there.
Grant, thanks for being on the show.
Nick, thank you for having me. Thanks for doing the show. This was a great experience talking to you and kind of recapping where we've been and where we're headed. It's an honor to be a part of the season finale again. I mean, truly. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll have to keep it up.
Let's keep it up.
Okay.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in. That was the season 2 finale. I hope you enjoyed it. Sending every ounce of love in my body that my body can physically hold out to you. If this is your first listen or if you're a longtime listener, it means the world that you showed up to listen. Big shout out to Grant Singer for making the pod sound juicy, all the guests that bring the heat each week, and as Snoop Dogg once said,
last but not least, I want to thank me.
Totally kidding. Don't forget to leave a 5-star review, share this episode with a friend, and check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Nickolas Natali. The real reason you're still here. You want to know the answer to the riddle of the week. What kind of noise does a witch's vehicle make? Broom, broom. Get out me car! Oh man, that's funny. Get out me car! Remember that Vine? That girl, that lady was a witch this whole time and we didn't even know it. That's why her car was making that broom broom sound. Know what I'm saying? They ain't even riding a broom, they're riding in a whip. Copping a whip in a car. Anywho, thank you so much for being here. This has been a really fun season, and I look forward to many more episodes to come. And I'll see you next time. Love you. Bye. Bro.